So what are some things that you can do that men secretly love? That's what we are talking about today, and specifically in the frame of classy moves. What are some classy moves that you can make? Because I love that term classy, don't you? It's like classy is this perfect mixture of sexy, but with elegance, right? And it's just so attractive to men. So today we're going to talk about 5 things that you can do that are classy moves that men secretly love. And number 1 is to be an amplifier. There are certain people in this world that are detractors, that are the energy drains. When they walk into a room, it's just, they kind of, by the time they leave the room, they've just sucked all the life out of that environment. And then there's other people who are amplifiers. They're the people who, when they walk in the room, they light up the room, right? They bring energy to the situation. And when they're around you, you naturally feel better. Some women walk in the room and they're like, here I am. And it's all about them, right? The classy woman who's the amplifier walks in the room and says, there you are. And it's so good to see you. And they make it about you without degrading themselves. They're not lowering their own self-importance, but they are putting the spotlight on you and bringing fun and bringing energy and bringing joy and bringing love and bringing focus to that particular situation. So when you are that way in your man's life, when you're uplifting him and uplifting the others in that same environment, when you are an amplifier, your man's gonna be like, wow, I love this woman. Like, I can't go without this woman in my life. She is so awesome and so classy and so sexy. I just can't get enough. Now, the second move is an internal move. And this is where you own your confidence by owning your value and worth in your own security. In other words, you don't get rattled real easily. Because if you're out there and you're on a date with this guy, he's your man and he's handsome, he's sexy, he's attractive, and the waitress comes by and she's flirting with him and he's not giving her the same energy, but if you get rattled in that moment, if you move to a place of anger, remember, anger is usually a secondary emotion. Anger often bubbles up when underneath it we're feeling sad or we're feeling hurt or we're feeling afraid. So if you're afraid that she's a threat to your relationship, you get angry, that signals insecurity. There is nothing more attractive than a woman who knows her worth. Let me give you an example of just how attractive this can be. So I'm married now, but there was a whole period of time, of course, that I was dating my wife, Irene, before we got married, where I was leading these seminars, Cracking the Man Code seminars. And I've had hundreds of women come to these seminars. And without fail, after the seminar, women would come up and some women would be flirting with me because there's hundreds of women. They're all single and I'm not married. And so they're kind of flirting and having fun. And I'll never forget, Irene would just be in the back. She'd be cool as a cucumber. She'd be grounded. And on one particular drive home, I was like, hey, babe, can I ask you a question? I'm like, you never get rattled. Like, I could just imagine if I were in your shoes and you were a dating coach for men and there were all these single men that were like flirting with you, I would get rattled. How do you stay so grounded? How do you stay so calm? And she was like, you know, I used to get a little bit rattled, but then I realized you're with me and you're with me because you want to be with me. And there's 2 things. Number 1, you're the kind of guy that if you don't want to be with me, you're going to tell me before you go off and screw around with some other woman. I'm like, well, that's true. We have that agreement that if we don't want to be in the relationship, we're going to be upfront and communicate beforehand. And number 2, she said, and if you're not with me, I know that I'm going to go off and find another amazing guy and create an amazing relationship. And I was like, okay, now that's confidence right there. That was amazing. And it was so attractive to me that she was so grounded. She didn't get catty. She didn't get jealous. She didn't get insecure. She didn't come in and like put her arm around me and be like, this is my man. She didn't need to do any of that because she was so grounded in knowing that I was with her. And if for whatever reason we didn't work out, she would find some other amazing man. So that's the classy move, is to stay grounded, stay confident, stay secure in who you are, knowing that what you've got is a good thing. And if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, you're going to find something even better. And the third move that you can make that's classy, that men secretly love, is use beautiful language even when you're pissed. And here's what I mean. You know, it's easy. We all get upset. We all get fired up. And yet the person who, when they get pissed, starts throwing F-bombs, starts cussing the other person out, and they lose it, that's an ugly form of behavior because it's disrespectful. If you can actually maintain respect between the two of you when you're upset, and you don't lose your mind and start communicating differently than you would normally communicate, then that shows self-control. That shows that you have a degree of resolve in you, that even when you're upset, you're not going to start hitting below the belt or name calling or throwing F-bombs at your partner. And that self-control is admirable. That respect fosters mutual respect in the relationship, and it actually calms down the situation. And in any relationship, what both people are looking for is not just how it goes when times are good, but how can we work through when we're having friction? How can we work through those moments? Can we bring it back to a place of peace? How easy is it to do that? And the person, the version of you that's throwing F-bombs or throwing cuss words or like jabbing like that, it just amplifies the situation versus calms it down. When you use beautiful language in those moments, it's surprising to the other person because not a lot of people have the inner control to do that. Most people will fly off the handle, right? But the version of you that is grounded, is calm, speaks with respect, you can still bring intensity. You can still let him know that you mean business and you are serious about this, but in a respectful way, well, that just sets you apart from everybody else. The fourth move that you can make, and I love this one, is graciously receive. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is so often someone who's beautiful or dressed up or looking great, someone will throw them a compliment and say, oh my gosh, I love that beautiful dress, or oh, you look so good tonight. And they're like, oh, I don't look good. I was so tired. I barely got any sleep last night. And they will deflect or reject the compliment. And that actually demonstrates that that person doesn't own their own worth and value. It shows a lower sense of confidence. The best thing that you can do when someone gives you a compliment is to receive it. Is to say thank you. Best thing you can do when someone wants to offer you a gift, pull out your chair, open the door, pay for your meal. As long as this doesn't feel manipulative, right? If it feels genuine, the best thing that you can do is to say yes and receive it. They open the door, say thank you. Because receiving the gift honors the giver. There's an amplification of energy in that transaction of giving, receiving, and receiving. In other words, the giver wants to give. As you receive, then they actually receive the good feeling of having given the gift in the first place. So the classy woman, the confident woman, is a gracious receiver. And the fifth move the classy woman makes that men secretly love is they speak their truth with love. They speak their truth with love. Notice there's two parts to this. So number one is speaking your truth. What that means is you're not watering down what you believe, what you value, and what you really like only to fit with what he believes and values and likes. Because here's what some women do. They will try to get him to like them before they even know if they like him in the first place. And so if you're not speaking your truth, you're coming across hollow. It just feels that the whole experience is hollow. But the other side of this, with love, is important because some women and some people in general, both men and women, we all do this. If we aren't accepting ourselves and willing to accept the differences in others, then speaking our truth can come across hardened. Not hollow, but hardened, right? It's like my way or the highway. I'm right. And if you don't believe this, you're wrong and I won't accept you. That's equally repelling. So speaking your truth with love means, hey, here's who I am and I love who I am. And I'm willing to accept differences. If you don't like this, it's not a deal breaker. I'd love to get to know you and why you like what you like. So all of these moves, men secretly love. They are super classy. And my question for you is, what are you doing on dates that you find men love, that you find are really, really effective? Go ahead and post those in the comment section below. What I love about you and this community is you're brilliant. The comment section, when you read the comment section of these videos, there's so many juicy ideas being shared. So thank you for both reading those and commenting and participating. And here's to your amazing love life. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.